Call to order with roll call. Mike, would you do the roll call?
Sam Boston,
Here.
Sarah Collins,
Here.
Ellen Knott, here.
Here.
Ryan Fraser.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Any public comments on agenda items? No comments. Any amendments to the agenda?
Can we add no amendments to this one, but can we request for future things at this
Yeah.
spot, or is that later?
Yeah, I'm gonna address like new business stuff
New business, okay.
for next, that we'll add it.
We'll update that.
Yeah,
Okay.
update
Yeah,
it in
like
time to
from
make it
the-
out.
Yeah, from the, this following,
business
for the
requests,
following
yes.
commissions, we'll add a section for, this will, instead of
New
just
business.
business, we'll have old business and new business.
Okay,
And then I'll-
old business
I'll
and
touch-
new business
Yeah.
amended, so that we can follow through on
Yeah, and then if there's anybody that wants to add something, we can put it under new business.
Okay,
Approval of meeting, or of minutes from last month?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, second? All in favor? Aye. Minutes are approved. Moving on to department and staff updates. And standing in for Gina will be Mr. Gola.
Thank you, yep. Gina sends her
For the,
apologies, she's not feeling well today, so it's better that she stay home than spread everything around. So anyway, let me go over the rec program updates. So for aquatics, athletics, and fitness, the Conquer the Court Basketball League will hold their final games at Willowbrook on Saturday, March 9th. The spring youth soccer registration is underway. So far, we have 29 registered. The games start in April 13th, so we have 2 months, so it's still relatively early. For the adult and senior program update, for January, we ran 12 adult and senior programs, and we had 234 folks registered for those. So that's really going well. So kudos to Janet and staff for doing all the work with the seniors and adult programming. Early childhood, Exploring Toddler returned with 7 participants this session. Preschool registration for 2024-25 school year began February 5th. We had 2 new early childhood programs which began in January. So these new programs were the Little Artists, which we had 6 participants, and Little Chefs, which we had 9 participants. So it's a good start to the new programs. For event updates, the egg hunt will take place on Saturday, March 23rd at 10 a.m. And so far as of February 13th, we have 8 participants registered. So again, we have another month yet to go, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. The Princess Ball will be held Friday, April 12th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Elm West. That's the old Diplomat. That was on the corner of 64 and 83. And again, same thing, as of February 13th, we have 11 participants, so plenty of time to register for those programs. Discover Dance, the recital is now scheduled to take place at Jefferson Middle School on March 16th with rehearsal on March 15th. We had it at, we usually have the recital at Willowbrook High School, and they had to withdraw the approval for the recital because there was a conflict with one of their theater programs. So we had to change on the fly, and staff met with folks over at Jefferson, and looks like they'll be able to accommodate us. And then the summer brochure, so we're starting to plan on summer stuff, so that's a good sign. Always when, fall is around and, we're planning on winter, it's kind of, winter's right around the corner. So this is kind of fun that summer's right around the corner. And We've set our lineup for the summer concerts. We're all set on all the bands. It's going to be a really good season, I think. We have some really good, talented bands, some that have played the kind of favorites of the residents, so we brought them back. And those concerts will be held at Cortese Park on Thursdays from 6:30 to 8:30 in June and August. And of course, the Kiwanis will also be running their summer concert program on Wednesdays in July. So we've got a whole summer full of concerts. And that should do it for Gina's programs. And if anybody has any questions, I can take them, and if I don't know the answer, I'll relay those to Gina.
Will we be making more brochures, paper brochures? Because
Yeah, I
there's a lot
heard-
of people that want that rather than they'll,
We'll have to see what we budgeted for, because we went to doing it online and printing a certain amount for seniors, and anybody who wanted them, requested, we'd mail them out to them. Years ago, we used to mail to everybody, but as a cost savings measure, we stopped doing that. Plus, it wasn't the best way, we would hire, we used to do it through the post office, and then that wasn't very effective. Then we hired a company just to hand them door to door.
because I
This-
know right now they're at the library, right?
They're at the
They can pick 'em
library
up at the
and
library,
here.
they can pick them up
Yeah.
at Village Hall, they can pick them up here, correct?
Yep, correct.
Okay.
We won't be able to do anything. We probably would be able to increase the number that we printed, but the budget's already set, so we'll have to double check on how many we can do. And if we want to go back to the old method of mailing to each household, we can consider it, but
I don't know if they
For,
wanted it mailed, just more out there, because a couple people said that,
yeah, if
well,
they,
I know they don't come here, but there wasn't any at Village Hall, and
Yeah.
the library was short or something.
usually, we should make the rounds to the different places where we drop off and make sure that they're stocked. And, yeah, certainly residents can also call us and we'll mail one to them, too. If they can't make it out of the house, we can mail. So,
Because
We
I
will have
just know
staff
that
check.
was a statement, and I don't know
Yep.
if they just didn't know where to find them, or it was just,
okay. We'll write that down to make sure Gina gets it, to make sure staff revisits those locations to load up the,
So just kind of
Inventory.
a tangential question, ballpark, how much money do we save by not mailing to
I-
everybody?
I can get you that.
A lot or little, or, I mean, I'm
several $1,000s
Several,
off the
okay.
top of my head, and it was, because we would print for the number of households,
yes,
and
that's
then.
not, it's not trivial.
Yeah,
It's a big
and
deal.
then we'd also, then the mailing, or, that would cost some money, so.
All right, thank you.
But Sam, we could find out that.
It's not,
we can
just
compare. Okay.
not that important.
plus with
Just
our new
curious.
website that's out, it should be easier for them to be able to get those.
Hopefully,
And
yeah,
I-
you can go right on the website.
And I also know that you're now mailing them to, or emailing them.
We do
Another thing
email.
is email those brochures to people that have previously done,
We do Constant Contact
Contacts.
and if you're signed up for Constant Contact, we also do an email blast on upcoming registrations, events, those type of things, so.
so we'll just keep them updated on when those blasts are coming out, I guess, at these meetings, so they know. to
Yeah, they
look for
just,
'em.
well, they just send them, if you're signed up for Constant Contact, you'll get it in your email.
Right, but I am just keep them all updated on how they can get them
Yep.
through the months.
Okay. Anything else, Donna?
Have we ever thought of doing the dance at Allegra to kind of keep the business in Villa Park?
I believe Gina might have checked that place out a few years ago. I don't know if they could accommodate. I forget what the reason why. I'll ask Gina and she can comment on
Or
that.
is, I mean, I don't know if there's any other places that we.
Yeah, because we would like to keep, stuff local, but
Right. And,
I'm sure she tried Allegra.
the band list, is that gonna be in the summer brochure?
Yep. If you want to know now, I can read off the bands. So it's-
Not keeping a secret.
I like, yeah, we were going to do a grand unveiling, but, Donna,
I gotta know, you know, it's funny because I think the sooner we get out, the word out there, my husband's aunt, they like plan their summer of like, okay, we're going to Bensonville, we're going to Hillside, we're going here.
By where all the
what-
bands are at, yeah.
Where the bands are at.
Well, it's a little too early to put on a website, but we can certainly put it on before the brochure comes out, you know,
Okay.
and do something like that, so. So for June, the old Standby Petty Cash, our local band, they're June 6th. Marley Music played last year, they're the 13th, they're kind of a rock band.
Is that the one with the kids? That's real interactive with the kids?
No, they're not back this year.
Okay.
Chicago's own piano band, it's got Billy Joel, they're back. Electric Brew is on the 27th, and they're a rock and roll band. And then in August, we have Johnny Rustler and the Beach Bums. They're like a Jimmy Buffett band. That's the first Thursday in August. The 8th is Nashville. I know they didn't write their whole name down, so I apologize, but it's a Nashville, it's a country band. The Flat Cats are the 15th, they're a swing band. The 22nd is Strung Out. They played last year. They're a 60s, 70s rock band. And then the 29th is Howard and the White Boys, and they'll finish out the season, and they're a blues band.
9 again.
And we have 9 this year. Last year we had 10. We had 5 Thursdays in June and 5 in August. This year we have 4 in June and 5 in August.
And, have we posted yet for lifeguards? I thought I saw one post.
I'll have
I
to
saw
double
one.
check on that, yeah. I know we start recruiting because we like to bring kids in for spring break, so when they're home from
Right.
school, so we can double check on that, on the recruitment. I'll let you know on that.
I think if we could blast something on social media, because I think I've only seen it once. Have you only seen it once?
I've seen one very recently.
And we do, we're going to be getting a new communications person. Donnie had taken another job in Park Ridge, I believe, so he had resigned, so we're looking for a new communications specialist.
Any other questions? Move on. Brian?
All right, thank you. Some current completed projects, facility assessment update. Kluber, the company we've been working with, they provided us with the a draft of the facility assessment. We're working to set up a meeting with them in early March to discuss everything that they have. It was about 800 pages, so it's a significant report, but meeting with them in early March to discuss everything. Before then, they will provide us with the final copy of the assessment. And just to go over again, the assessment was covering Village Hall, Police Department, Public Works, the old fire station, the parks and Public Works garages, the water building, the fleet building, the museum, both fire stations, 81 and 82, as well as the Chamber of Commerce building. The Chamber of Commerce building is also, they've got a structural assessment done of the chamber building, so that will be part of the report as well, so. And then with that as well, the fire department, we started talking with them because they're hiring more people, their fire department is growing and getting in more, so they had some concerns with the facilities they have as they grow, what their needs are for the future. So we're working with Kluber on it's called like a space needs assessment. But they'll assess the buildings, and then we'll make plans then for potential improvements or renovations to the facilities in the future to accommodate what fire department wants. So we're meeting with them, I think, to discuss that in the next couple weeks as well. It may actually be the same date that we're shooting for the other ones. Over at our Public Works and Community Development office building, we recently made improvements to the public entry area. We removed some old floor base, cleaned up the brick walls, painted the stair metal, front counter and door frames. Installed new LED lighting in the whole entry area. It was much brighter and nicer. We actually, installing the lights, there were 11 lights in that public area throughout. Installing LED, we actually went down to 8 from 11, and it was still much brighter and nicer in there, so it was a nice improvement. We also worked with a contractor to install new flooring in that public entry area. They did the stairs as well with some safety treads. We have ordered new doors for that public entry area as well as the south staff entry. We ordered them a while back. It's taken a bit, but we're hopeful to see them installed in the coming weeks. And then we're currently in the process at Public Works and Community Development, making improvements to the 4 staff restrooms that they have in the building. New flooring, sinks and vanities, mirrors, new LED lighting, new dispensers, ceiling fans, some wall repairs, painting of all the walls, new base, and just a good general cleaning afterwards. But they're also getting LED lights over what was in there before, so it's much brighter, nicer. They compared it to like makeup rooms now, so I think they just were in the dark for a while, so it's been nice. Over at the police department, we just recently completed improvements to the main level. The main hallway was repainted as well as the door frames. Worked with a contractor again to install new flooring throughout the main hallway, and then they have like a report writing room. We got new flooring in there. And we have staff currently looking to replace they have sconce lights throughout the building on the walls. They're not great. They're really, we looked at a replacement for it and it was like $700. So we've actually recently found a light that was about $150. I can replace it. It's LED. So we're working on trying to figure that out and get some new lights installed in there for them as well. Fire stations, recently also completed improvements at Station 81. We were in their kitchen and day room. We did some painting, new LED lights, fans. We also did their hallway was painted, new lighting as well. And then the chief's office. Station 81 is getting 4 new interior swing doors starting this week. And then Station 82 is getting new overhead doors for the engines in and out. So those are fire engine red. It's gonna look, we're gonna have to paint everything else to match after this, I'm sure. And then in general for parks, each winter, the Parks Department works through a list of routine maintenance and improvements to our equipment and various parks items. We completed winter service on our mowing equipment. We worked on trash cans and picnic tables. We bring them in, clean them up, fix them, repair them, paint them, stain them. Other summer equipment has been serviced. We've been cleaning and organizing our shops and tools and vehicles and et cetera. So, and then upcoming, after we're done at Public Works and the restrooms, we're going to move into Village Hall to work on the break room that they have over there. So there's some various repairs that we have to make before we start solid in the break room. But we're hopeful to begin over at Village Hall early to mid next week. So, and then after that, it sounds weird, but when we're done with Village Hall in early to mid March, we're going to start preparing the parks and grounds for spring and summer. So I can't believe it's middle of February. That's all I have.
So, thank you. Questions? Donna?
Is there any grants or funding, being that the Chamber Building and the museum are historical? Is there any grants that can be applied for to help update or to refurbish them, windows, lighting,
There could be,
roofs?
after we meet with Kluber to figure out what needs to be done, then we'll probably investigate if there's any money that we can apply for, grant money.
Because you would think with it being historical, that there would be some type of funding out there.
Yeah, we haven't, we've got to see the recommendations, and then once we get the recommendations, then we'll start that whole process and see if there's any money available. Yep.
And the lights on the path, I have to say, look so awesome. I wish we could keep them up year-round. Is there any possibility of that, or, everyone,
Honestly, the maintenance of them is, I mean, we inspect them on a weekly basis and we'll fix or repair them. We usually keep them up through February or into March, but a lot of it depends on, if strands start going out or people, unfortunately vandalize them sometimes. If
That's
it
the
gets
problem.
too cumbersome in maintenance and buying lights and stuff, then we just pull it
if you
down.
walk that path, when you hit Villa Park, it's
Yeah.
just so well-maintained and so awesome looking. I mean, the lights, I think just is an added touch.
The only problem is, like Brian had mentioned, is when the strands go out,
Or the squirrels start eating them.
yeah, and then, then it takes a lot of staff time to replace those.
Right.
And so we keep them up for the season, winter season, and take them down, so.
Also, you said something about everyone's getting new LED lights. Are they replacement lights, or are we that behind the times that
So we're
nothing has LED lights in this village?
So we're trying to go through, like these are just CFL, they're basic lights. So we're trying to go through as we make improvements at buildings or spaces or rooms to replace them with more efficient lights. So we've found some pricing on lights is, $50 to $100 for a new LED light. So it's actually been really affordable and comparable. And they're flat panel LEDs, so we're just taking these out and reconnecting all the wiring and then just installing a flat panel LED. So it's been
Yeah, because
a
I
big
believe they're a
improvement.
lot, they don't throw off as much heat, the LEDs, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, yeah, they use less energy, but I mean,
Less
also
ener-
like, in a room like this, you can probably go from 9 lights to, you can reduce this probably by at least 3. So we're finding we're using a lot less fixtures and providing more light, so,
And saving money.
and saving money, yeah.
Gotta love technology.
Yep.
Have we got any other of the parks on our list this year to be worked out? I know we have Lions and we've got Lufkin going. Is there any other park that's on the project list for this year?
I'd love to say we can handle a bunch more things, but we have a
they're-
good list of work for us.
Because I know that's
Pretty-
going to be a
pretty,
pretty big job getting.
got 3 big
Lions
jobs.
And
Yeah.
Plus the
Lufkin in
pool.
order.
Plus the
this-
pool.
This,
Yeah.
plus the pool. So, because I know you've done a fabulous job keeping our parks up to date and fixing what we need, so that's what I'm.
Thank you. We do
But
our
I know
best. We'll take
Lufkin
on as
and
much
Lions
as
is
we
gonna
can.
be a big deal this year to try to
We're gonna
get
have a lot
those
of good
through.
stuff, yeah.
Okay. And the pool then, when we get that up and running, Jefferson.
Any other questions? Thank you, Brian. Greg will be substituting for Greg.
Yeah. Okay, so under my reports, I got a few things to touch on before we go to the business section. And I guess this could have been included in the business section, but, we have it up on the website. We're going to do a beam signing. I think I mentioned this to you at the last board
March
meeting.
2nd.
So they're, WB Olson, they're going to paint a beam white, and we're going to be able to have the residents come in on Saturday, March 2nd, from 10 to noon, over by the old, the parking lot, the municipal lot that's off of Villa. The old, where the dog, there wasn't dog training, just.
The groomer.
The dog
Dog
groomer.
groomer.
Yeah. So we're gonna have the beam there, and families can come and sign a beam, and then it'll go back up in the building. Don't know if it's gonna be exposed or not, might not be, so if it's not exposed, and if it's in some section, that's under ceiling tiles, we'll take a picture of where it's at
Put it out.
before the ceiling tiles and everything, and have a picture of this, and a location of where that beam is up, but rain or shine, we're gonna have it, because if it rains, that building is open, so we can move the beam inside, keep it out of the elements, keep folks out of the elements, and they'll be able to sign the beam. So, hopefully people can come on out March 2nd again, from 10 to noon. So, what else do I have here? Oh, well, it's been in the news, and we mentioned it yesterday at the board meeting, but we did receive the Oslide grant for $600,000 for our Lions Park project. If you recall, when we went through the process, and when they did this conceptual design, this was like before COVID or right around COVID, if my memory's correct, and then supply chain issues and labor and all that good stuff, kind of, where our budget took a hit. So what we decided to do was all that money that we got, or the grant money, and that was going to go towards the building, and our plan was to apply for grant money for the park amenities. I do have, I don't know if the camera can get up there, but I do have the locations of what everything's going in. We have the basketball court, we have a couple pickleball courts, and we have the playground. This was all, this is on the website, by the way. And then in that lower southern western part by the parking lot, we have like a natural area, pollinator gardens, kind of a walk, story walk. Just off the building, we'll have a patio, like a senior or just a gathering place with pergola. So it's very exciting that we got the grant. Plan B, if we didn't get the grant, was, just do it piecemeal each year and put a playground in, and then, depending on budgetary constraints, if we had any, then we'd follow through with the basketball court and then pickleball court and so forth. But we'll be able to do that within the next 2 years. Hopefully start at the end, sometime in the fall, maybe even late summer, with at least the playground, get that started. And then we'll complete everything by spring of 2025. So, anyway, we're very happy to receive that.
Is that on a timeline?
Yeah, they usually give you 2 years to complete the project.
So it's on the same type of timeline
Yeah.
that has to all be done in 2 years' time?
Yeah. So Cheryl and I were talking a little bit about the agenda. And so, we have under business, we have Lufkin Park and Lions, which, I would like to suggest that maybe we do, that could be our old business, and then if anybody has any new business they want to bring up, it's on the agenda. And if you want new business to be placed on the agenda, we have to post it by the Friday before the rec commission meeting. So we will need that at least by the Wednesday, maybe Thursday, but that's going to be cutting it, kind of close with all the stuff that Yolanda does, because she puts everything together. If we can have if you're interested in adding some new business, please get that to me or Sam, and then we'll have it on the agenda for the subsequent months. And then with that, I did have some questions from Commissioner Tucker. We had very good questions, and I'd like to read some of them and then answer those questions, because I'm sure there's some questions from the residents asking the commissioners. And so these are just a couple of samples. One of them was about the $600,000 grant. It is for Lions Park, not Lufkin. We did get a grant for Lufkin. That was $400,000. I wish they would have upped the amount this past cycle, or maybe it was last cycle, but we got the $400,000 cycle, so we missed it by a little bit. But the money, that grant money, can only be spent for the amenities that we applied for. So I think there was a question, can we use it for like a pool or something else? Can't use that money other than what we put in our grant application. And that grant application was, we had the community input meeting, we had the board approve the upland design to submit the grant, and so those conceptual drawings were at the board meeting, and they're also up on the website, if anybody, the village website, if anybody wants to check that out of what's going in. I just mentioned those things, but Yes, can it be used for the swimming pool, a new swimming pool? No, it can't. The discussion on a swimming pool, Brian put in, I've got 6 pages of all the improvements that Brian and his staff and contractors have done to Jefferson, and this was directly related to the facility assessment that Williams Architects did back in 2013 or 15, I forget the.
It was
13. So they've identified critical issues and then, stuff that you can put off. And so every year, we've been doing a lot of different things to Jefferson Pool. I think it's 58 years old now. At the end of this summer, we're going to be putting in a liner because the concrete shell is seeing a lot of wear and tear. Brian's, when he talked to the folks that do those liners, once the liner is in, then the shell won't deteriorate because there will be no chlorine and the elements won't be
Is this
hitting the
still
shell.
on the website?
That is, yeah, it's still on the
This is
website.
2013.
13.
But it's still on the website, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
So
should
if
be.
you want to check it out, it's still on the website.
It should be on the website, yes. So there was a lot of improvements done, the bathhouse, the roof, we put a new roof on a few years ago, infrastructure, so the bathhouse is pretty solid. And then the liner, it has a shelf life of about 10 years. So we should be fine for the 10 years. Knock on wood, it's an old pool, stuff will break, we'll have to repair stuff, but this buys us some time to start the process for what are we gonna do if we wanna get a new pool, so.
Well, given
Hopefully
how long
start the
we've been talking.
process now.
Given how long it took us to get the rec center, we should probably start talking about that
Start
pretty
making
soon.
plans now to make it in the 10 years, because the
Yep.
10 years was brought up when Lufkin was taken out in, 2015?
17.
2017, that 10 years down the line, so that was 2027
Yeah,
on that point, so hopefully they'll start,
yeah.
hopefully in the
it's-
strategic report, they'll start thinking ahead and
I'm
add
sure that'll
that
be
to
part
it,
of the
so that will be
strategic
part of it,
planning.
of where we can move forward and start getting things.
And then the question was,
Ready.
if there's our next park project that the commission can focus on. Well, we're going to finish up these 3 big projects. It's like, well, you guys get all these projects done before you focus on another thing. So if we do focus, it's probably going to be 2026, because 2025, we'll have to finish up the Lions Park. That's a $1.2 million project. So that's $600,000 that the village has got to come up with. We can start thinking about it. All of our playgrounds, Brian and I were discussing this last week. We're pretty much caught up on all of our playgrounds. There's 2 playgrounds, Rotary Park, Fish Park, which is really widely used, and the other one is Westland Park, are the only playgrounds that we haven't replaced since I've been here. We've replaced everything else. So the playground apparatus they're all pretty good. Probably, Westland is a smaller playground, and I think it's in pretty decent shape.
So, we've replaced a few panel sections and stuff when they go out, so we keep it all usable and stuff, but it's could use it.
I would really like to see Rotary Park, that playground. It's been around for a long time. Maybe focus on that, but, we're up for suggestions. But that's something we can talk about either towards the end of this year or early next year when we start budgeting for the 2026 year.
Start moving forward on what the projects will be.
Yeah, because I think one of the people that I talked to, the pool is still kind of the third rail of Villa Park. I don't know, politics, I guess you might say. So I think if we could provide that we have a plan, like, okay, well, we're going to do an updated strategic plan. It's gonna include this, but it's, you know, X number of years out. I think with something that if we can communicate that, that might assuage some people's concerns that we're just gonna not do anything ever on the pool, which, you know,
look,
obviously,
you're-
it's long-term, it's long-term.
a new pool you're talking.
Well, yeah, a new pool
Yeah.
or, you know, my understanding based on what we've heard before is, you know, we're gonna buy 10 years from the pool liner, but after 10 years, you know, you're looking at a, you know, an 80 or 90-year-old pool, you're gonna get the same point we got with Lufkin where
Right.
it's not economically feasible to repair it
Right,
anymore.
right. Exactly. That's why we want to start the
So-
ball rolling. And there's been some discussion a little bit, but that's what we have to start the ball rolling on planning for whatever, you know, if it's a new pool or you know, closing this pool and redoing Jefferson, I don't know. That'll be
Yeah.
up for discussion.
Right,
but,
for sure.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's on the,
I
that's
think
on the
they
back.
just
that's on
want to
the
know
burner.
that we're going to be shovel-ready if by chance we manage to get a grant and they don't
Right.
have to go the referendum route.
We're not going to get a grant for $10 million. Again.
Well,
That's
understandable,
no
but
way.
I think people in the village want to know that we could be shovel-ready to head forward if by chance we all of a sudden get some rich beneficiary that throws the money our way or,
If
you
Elon
know,
Musk drives through and
business
decides he needs,
or,
this place needs a pool
you know,
and drops us off 10 million, I don't know.
But Jen Burns is
that
gonna
we've
give it
got
to us when
plans
she
in order
wins
to
the
head
lottery.
that way.
She already promised.
Okay, so moving forward, let's see. So high level, that promotions company. So there were some proposals, but those, like for the naming, did not really meet or weren't sufficient enough. Can't get into the details really, but, so right now, that's kind of on hold until somebody comes up with, you know, as we discussed with here, at the commission meeting a few months ago, like if we were to get $1 million, you know, then everybody was on board. So, you know, there's not any offers sufficient enough yet, so. But conversely, there's some offers coming in on sponsoring, you know, maybe the track or the basketball court or something. So those are a little more favorable, so we should be probably, it'll probably go to the board to sign some contracts with some of those sponsorship type things, so.
That was another question they were asking, is it possible for a sponsorship for the pool?
I'm sorry?
A sponsorship to get the pool built?
Well,
Was there a
we're
possibility of anything?
We're not close to
I know
that
we
yet.
know
Yeah,
that,
sure there is.
But that
I
was a
mean, right.
question asked.
Yeah.
That we've
Why
got
not?
this company on board. Is it something that in the future we could ask for assistance
Yeah.
for some type of sponsors or something on their line to get
There's
the
a,
pool
there's a
built?
possibility. You know, the problem with, you know, we're, when you go out to the rural areas, you know, and it's wide open and they do see these big sports complexes, they attract people from all over the place. Like if they have big sports tournaments or whatever. So there's these tournaments every weekend. You know, the rec center, it's a little community thing, you know, so people aren't gonna, businesses aren't gonna come and say, well, you know, there's so many different rec centers. And usually the rec centers that have a name associated with them are from big benefactors,
Time
you know.
Warner.
Yeah, so that, you know, okay, I'll give you 10 million for the rec center, and then they put the guy's name on it, you know, so. So businesses are a little, they kind of stand away from that unless it's a big venue that brings in a lot of people, so.
Understand.
But,
You got people that
you
are
know,
dreaming
down the
big.
road, when we're ready, 5 years down the road, or
People
7
are
years,
dreaming
then
have big dreams and.
7
you know,
years or 5 years, or
thinking
whatever
maybe
the
we could
case
get
may
big
be.
businesses to help our little town.
When it's
you
down the
know.
road, you know, there's certainly an option, you bet.
We like our little town, but we forget that little town has
Talked
little
about the
money.
chamber building, and then the other thing about, was we're, in the next few weeks, or next few months, so staff's compiling area fees, what different park districts and rec departments who have rec centers charge their, you know, for memberships, you know, daily fees. So similar to what we do with the pools, and we combine a list of local 11, 10, 12 area park districts and rec departments and what they charge. We're going to do the same thing with the rec center for the weight room, open gym, how much do they charge for drop-in, that type of thing. So staff is going to put together all that, and we'll discuss that in the upcoming, it won't be next March, it won't be March, but April or May, bring it to the commission for you guys to review, and, then we're still a ways away, but we'll make a recommendation on fees and charges and what, we'd like to charge for the weight room and walking track and, senior rates and those type of things. So we'll compile all that. I want Gina to get that information to you prior to a commission meeting, so you have a few days to look at it and, develop some ideas, and then we can have a discussion whenever at that commission meeting will be. It'll probably be
She also
at
gonna
the-
reach out to other park and rec that are village-owned type things. that
There's
have
only a
rec
few.
centers.
There's Schiller
Rec.
Park, there's Glendale Heights.
Well, I think I was looking at if she could reach out farther away from the Chicago area on how they do it.
Yeah, I mean, you also want to compare like apples to apples,
Well,
like
you're
Oak
also
Brook. Oak Brook has a
comparing-
nice rec center,
But
but,
you're
it's
also-
more affluent.
You also
know.
got the tax infant when you're talking of park districts compared to us, which is
Correct,
village.
correct.
So there's a different time factor.
There's not
between
very
when we're
many
talking
recreation
about-
departments.
Okay.
So I know there's, right in the area is Schiller Park, Glendale Heights, and South Elgin, I believe, off the top of my head.
Okay.
So there might be a
So
couple
it's
more.
just
So yeah,
wonder
definitely
if we
get,
could
we'll
reach
we'll
out
get.
to other things in Illinois,
get some,
just to
rec
get an
departments.
idea.
But we're not going to go down to southern Illinois to get
No,
those.
but
Doesn't make
just to
sense.
get an idea from them how they support their,
Yeah.
from the village-owned thing compared to a park district supporting it, to how other villages would support it. I realize it's, we're doing apples to apples, but it would be nice to get information on how other areas, even if we can't use them, just other areas, how they support it when you're talking about a park and rec building compared to a park district.
Yeah, we would have to find out how much, what's their budgetary, the
Right.
size,
Which would-
what is the village, give them to run, we'll figure that out. And
So
give it
that
to
we
you.
get a more
Yeah.
common comparison than what we've got, and then we can do the apples to apples like we do the swimming pool.
Yeah, yep, of course. All right, so that's all I have for under that. And then if you want me to, Commissioner Bossum, go right into the business section, I can do that.
Yes, please do.
So, Lovekin Park, they started in the fall and Innovation Landscaping started putting up the playground and the ninja course. They've got the foundation for the bathrooms. And then, of course, winter hit. So, outside construction, they're not going to work in the winter when it's, the conditions aren't favorable. But, it's 40 in February, so the conditions are good, and they started back up this week with putting up the band shell. And then they're going to work on some sanitary line connecting that. That's going to be a big project. And then in April, we'll begin, I think that it was April, that the bathroom building materials will be delivered. I know we've gone back and forth a few times with the builder, but, so we finally got everything straightened out. Not that there was any problems, but just going back and forth on design. So that'll come in April. So as soon as they get that, they'll start putting the building up, and then they'll put in the spray pad and sensory garden, and then the pier overlook. And then Brian's guys will finish it all up with
We'll start working on the path.
with the path. So, I'd like to be optimistic and say it would be done by end of spring, but we're looking probably very early summer, maybe end of May, early June, somewhere around there. So we'll have a ribbon cutting, we'll get that information out. Both the Lovekin project and Alliance project, we update, we take pictures, it's updated once at the end of each month. Lovekin hadn't because there was no construction going on the last month, but now that there's some stuff going on, we'll update that, and it's on the website. We have the updates, and Lions Park also has the updates on the website, so folks can go to the website and check out the progress,
Is that the park website or the village website?
the village website.
So these things are on the village website? Okay,
Correct.
not under park and
It should,
rec, they're actually
it's on the village website.
under park and rec, or is it under the park, the village?
It's like park updates, there's a tab for updates. If you click in, there's like, updates for, like construction projects and things like that. There's
So
one
the
for,
website, there be, look for the park updates, not on the general
it's like
village
project
website.
updates. I'm not-
Project
I
website?
can go on
okay.
right now and find it.
But it'll give you a list of project updates, and then you'll see one for, yeah.
Did you say Lufkin this June?
Lufkin? Hopefully.
Early June?
Yeah, they'll
Fingers
get
crossed.
full, started back in full, like April, once the weather really turns, like Greg said, they'll.
Because I
they'll
thought
be on the-
initially, well, that was, we didn't know we were gonna work through the winter, because I thought originally it was gonna be more towards end of summer, fall. But being we had
No.
good weather,
Yeah.
Like you said, Greg said, we've had a milder winter, so they're able to get back to work now.
Push up, yeah.
So they're gonna try to do the band shell now, and then they'll start utilities, so that by April, if they have that done, things will move a lot faster for them, so.
so we might be able to grand open this summer.
I would, hopefully summer, yeah. Like I said, we're following up towards the end with the pathway, once they get a lot of that stuff done, and we can coordinate with them and do the work as they're kind of finishing up, so that it, hopefully not too much after, but we got a significant path out there to put in, so. we'll
And
do
is
our-
that the nature thing, or just our path, our walking path you're talking
It'll
about?
be the walking path around. I think we were gonna install the signage, I think, too, we said.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So we'll put in the
So there's some-
signage and some posts and the pathway
QR
around.
codes and stuff.
Yeah, we still gotta design and order the signage, but
Signage.
yeah, we'll make sure all that goes in as we're doing the path.
But, folks can
That-
still,
that's- yeah,
they can
because
still
we can
use
still
the.
enjoy it without the QR codes.
Yeah, and they
or
can still use the
signs.
park with, signs can come in. And by the way, so if you go on the village's website, it's under the Park and Rec tab, and then you go to capital project updates. That's where you
Okay,
can.
so it is under the park and rec.
Yes,
You-
it's like village
It's the
updates, I
village,
think.
Village
no, village
update
web.
first, right?
Village website, and you go under the Park and Rec tab, and then capital
That's what I want to
projects.
know.
All right, there's
'Cause so they
a
don't have
tree
to
there
search
that-
all around.
yeah.
It goes under the village rec.
should go on
and then a tab
sometime,
for
yeah.
park and rec. Hey, I have a lot of people that are not
No, that's-
computer illiterate.
either am I.
They need
I
to
get
know
it, so-
where it's gotta, where they're looking for
But yeah,
it.
and, they can always call us to walk them through it if they want.
They don't want to call you, they are embarrassed.
So don't be embarrassed. We take-
They're embarrassed to call and say,
Happy to help
hey,
all the time.
I'll
Yep,
wander
no.
around, and then they'll complain instead that they
No,
couldn't find it.
We're happy to help, that's what we're here for. And that really, so right now you're gonna see the band shell, little shell going up. And, we might work with the library on their end of the summer program. That might be our first event that we have over there. So things are in the works with the library. And then, movies in the park and that kind of thing. So for Lions, the rec center, so the steel's going up. I don't know if you've been there. The steel's up. It's kind of really neat to see the steel. So the steel is up, and then it'll take them 6 weeks for, what do they call it, Brian, do you remember? Like detailing, so welding, and all that kind of good stuff. So they'll be at it for a month and a half. And then after that, we'll get the precast concrete panels that'll be going around the gym. We have 52 panels, I think it is, going up. And they can put up 14 in a day. So once they get that started, it's like 3 days and the gym will be enclosed. There'll be nothing inside, it'll still be dirt and everything, but thank God the weather's really been helpful. We've lost 2 weeks because of weather, 20 days, somewhere around there, because of weather, when we had that snow and then the cold, and then it melted, and, we had to get rid of the water, so they're moving along. So it's really neat to see. Again, monthly updates, you can check out the updates. That's kind of a neat thing. They have a camera up there, and so we just update them at the end of every month. That's really all I have. We talked about some of the other things. Don't forget the beam signing, March 2nd. And that's all I have.
Questions, Donna?
When you attended your Parks and Rec thing down in Springfield or wherever it's at?
Chicago
downstate-
is, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was downstate, whatever. Is there any insight of the next grant cycle, if it's going to be the 600,000 or if they're retreating back to the 400,000? No one knows until
Yeah.
it comes out?
Yeah. When I saw Upland, Upland Design, who we hired, they had a booth, and I talked to Maria, who's kind of the lead person for us. And that was, when was conference, the 27th of January or what have you, or the week
Whatever
before.
that Friday was,
Yeah.
26th, maybe?
But I saw her, and I'm like, any word on the grants, because sometimes they, they.
Get some
they're-
insight.
Yeah, she says, not a word, nothing, and then 2 days later, the word came out, so,
So we don't know what,
no. I hope it stays at the 600,000.
are we putting any threshold of what we would even entertain for naming rights and sponsorships? Do we have a minimum of like what you should come to the table with?
I haven't, my feeling was, look, okay, we take $1 million, but that's just me, but,
Right.
so I can't speak for the board on what their threshold is, but,
And to kind of touch on what Sam said, about the pool, 10 years, are we gonna say, oops, no, we still don't have the money for it? Do we have something like a line in the budget where we can just say, we want this for the pool?
the only thing we have is the cannabis money. That's dedicated, the 1%. Right now, that
But-
money, some of it's going to the rec center, and I don't know, if they,
Is there somehow where we can, like, put a line in the budget for that? Because, when I first came here, I was kind of stymied by the fact that we had a stop sign that was holding one of our fire trucks' floorboards together because somehow the money got spent. And I would hate for something like that to happen. We get 10 years down the project when we think we're ready maybe to have a pool.
That's
and
something
say,
that-
we
that-
don't have the money.
I'm sure that's something that will be touched upon in the strategic planning.
Okay,
That's coming up at the end of the month. And, if we need a pool, all the other infrastructure, and they're gonna prioritize everything, and how do we fund it? That'll have to be discussed, so.
yeah, because that was a big draw on the budget when I first moved here, that they had a stop sign for the bottom of a fire truck.
It just had a hole, so they
Just had
used
a
a
hole.
stop sign to cover it.
Gotten a lot better with the vehicles, a lot better.
Any other questions? All right, moving on to public comments on non-agenda items.
No, the only thing would be, yesterday, there was a presentation in the committee of the whole that went through a survey, and a pool was up there, and it was looking at amenities, so give a moment, watch that presentation, it was pretty good. Like a survey, they had focus groups, it was pretty neat. But a lot of what we're talking about, what you talk about, is definitely on there. And there's that strategic planning, at the end of the month, Amber was talking about that. I think it'd be really important also.
Thank you.
Commissioner comments? Anything?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mike?
Good meeting.
Gerald?
I'm just excited that 2024, we're going to just to see all these things happening, finally. I'm excited that we're finally moving forward and all these things are happening and our parks are starting to look really good and we're finally getting the money that's been rolled down the road and kicking the can for a long time, and our parks are starting to get noticed and starting to get those amenities here that have been long past left out. So I'm just kind of excited to see the final products.
And I have no comments today.
I have
But I skip-
nothing.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Don,
I'm invisible, that's all right.
I'm sorry.
The blue at the table.
Yeah, I've
she
been
cla-
blending
she
with the
goes-
table.
You
Blended
completely
in the
blended
table
in, I
there.
didn't see you at all, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Seed and now.
I'm sorry.
No worries, I have nothing, thank you.
All right, sorry, Donna. Oh, boy. Okay, so village staff. Brian?
No comments, thank you.
Craig?
Echo what Cheryl was saying, it's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening in this spring and fall and next spring, and we're really excited about all the amenities and, just will help with the quality of life to the residents of Villa Park. So we're really happy about that and excited to see these things going.
Before we ask for a motion to adjourn, I just want to give one last opportunity for Donna to comment, to make up for my, no, still good? All right. We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we are adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Brian, do you have a set chart?